According to the International Labor Organization, there are more than 20 million victims of human trafficking worldwide. 5.5 million are children. The commercial sex trade is part of human trafficking. In America, the sex trafficking trade generates more than $3 billion each year. Sex trafficking is a form of modern-day slavery. To those involved in human sex trafficking, it's called the game, the life. It involves the trafficker, also known as the pimp, the victim, also known as the wifey or prostitute, and a sex buyer, also known as a John. The average age that young girls get involved with sex trafficking is between the ages of 12 to 14. Pimps target girls at shopping malls, bus stops, places where troubled youth hang out. Girls with low self-esteem are the most vulnerable.
I was 13 the first time that it happened to me, and I was at a party with some guys, and they ended up taking me to LA, not against my will, but at 13, you know, and they're adults, there's a boundary issue there, right, where I'm making poor choices and things, and that's, you know, directly related to my childhood of sexual abuse. So I got to Los Angeles, and they were prostituting me out there, and then I tried to run away and ended up in Las Vegas, and I was raped there.
There's always a vulnerable girl. Hey, you're looking beautiful today. They play on the insecurities of these girls to get them and lure them in, and then those girls fall in love with this guy who is offering them the world, offering them a dream, and not realizing what their dream has entailed.
They're good at reading people, and so they can kind of focus in on those people that are maybe a little insecure, maybe aren't getting a lot of attention, and really figure out what it is that person really wants, and then figure out how to promise that to them so they can manipulate the situation.
Many of these girls and women are forced to walk the streets called the Blade or the Strip for hours until they meet their quota for the day, whether it be hundreds to thousands of dollars.
They usually come out towards right now because they know people are getting off of work. There's probably, you know, construction workers or any other kind of labor work that drives through here, and they'll look for them.
Charles Ramirez is a corrections officer for victims of human trafficking and juvenile gangs. Each week, he drives through neighborhoods in San Bernardino County looking for women involved in the trade.
But they come and go. They come and go just as fast. One day you'll see them here, and the next time they're gone. They'll move on to a different blade of Pomona or Los Angeles.
He says girls come from all walks of life. Some are in denial about being a victim of the sex trade. Others know they are trapped.
Seeing their faces, the older ladies look at me like, please help me. But they know what they're into, and they know they feel that they can't get out of it because they've been there so long. And I see these girls, young ones that are 18, 19, you know, that we have no jurisdiction over, that they look at you, and some of them have a look like they want to cry. And then you have others that look at you like, you know, F you, because they think they're okay.
It's a very in-depth mind game, and it continues. I mean, for years, you're at a point where girls don't see themselves as victims, not realizing that they have been brainwashed to think that way, to think this is my choice. How do you have the choice to sleep with 20 men in a day and give all your money to somebody else? How is that really a choice?
Trading in sex is big business. For the trafficker, it is less risky and more profitable than selling drugs.
Drug trafficking, you have a product that when it's sold, it's consumed and it's gone. But when you've got a little girl that you can sell over and over again, that little girl becomes a commodity, a renewable resource in a sense. So the profits in human trafficking and sex trafficking can be in the tens of thousands of dollars just for one victim, just for that one little girl.
With the internet, pimps can sell their girls out of sight of law enforcement.
It's real simple to go and buy sex online. It takes 17 seconds. I've timed it. to open your browser, go to a site that sells sex, click on an ad, and dial the numbers.
You can go on Backpage.com, and right next to buying a lawnmower, you can buy an underage girl for sex.
Operation Safe House is a place similar to a safe haven where a lot of victims of human trafficking go to get help. Many of them are runaways.
1 in 3 children that run away from home will be approached by a trafficker or by a pimp within 48 hours.
Ashley works at Safe House. She came here when she was trying to escape the life in the sex trade, but getting out of it wasn't easy.
You're living in the limelight. I mean, you're up at night, you're partying, you're doing drugs, you're making money, you're going on road trips, you're going shopping. I mean, that to a 13 or 14-year-old girl who's never had anything in her life before, who's never gotten her hair and her nails and feet done, that's the limelight for them.
She woke up one morning and said this is not what she wanted for her life.
There's a day and a time for everything, and everything happens for a reason, and you'll know when the moment's right for you. And when that moment's right, you open that door and you close it behind you and you don't look back.
Human trafficking is starting to gain national attention, but finding a solution is hard to come by. Kenneth B. Morris Jr. is the great-great-grandson of Frederick Douglass and the great-great-grandson of Booker T. Washington. Morris has a new approach on how to combat human trafficking.
When we look at human trafficking and the landscape and how it's been addressed over the past 20 years, it's very reactive. So in other words, what I mean by that is we're reacting after the crime has been committed. Law enforcement is reacting. We're reacting after someone has been victimized.
His organization, Frederick Douglass Family Initiatives, focuses on educating children before they become victims.
The work that we do at Frederick Douglass Family Initiatives is proactive. It's prevention, education. We want to make sure that we get to the most vulnerable so we can prevent this crime from ever happening in the first place. So our expertise is really on the front end. It's not on the back end with working with survivors of slavery.
Human trafficking is all around us. To end it, we have to recognize that sex trafficking is not about sex. It is about slavery.